Hello. I want to say hello from anywhere in the world you are and where I am in the United States. First and foremost, I want to say that I consider all of us fellow citizens and I consider myself very open minded to who you are and your character. It's not about anything else. Um, so, with that said, my name is Milo Miller II, and I'm making this video right now because I like to inspire people. I like to um, be, I like the motivation to help others when I can. And with that said, also, I or another individual really can't inspire you or motivate you to do anything you don't want to do. With that said, I had struggled with those type of things growing up. I didn't have those type of people in my life to help give me incentive to be inspired or to be motivated. Um, so it's hard to explain, but I rather have you change the way you think about things and you have a different perspective than just your own. That you, per se, put on someone else's shoes and look at their perspective as much as someone else's perspective or your own. So there's a variety of perspectives as much as there are a variety of human culture. Okay. Now, with that said, I want to talk about the acts of selfish and selfless. So the difference between them versus what we're seeing today. In my life experience, just in the last practically 2 years, the motion of selfishness in the world has really gone from a low expect to a very high expect, and that's not good. We should not be so selfish in this world. And what I'm defining this is we're going to go on with the pandemic, the virus, the vaccines, what one should or shouldn't do with their own body. So, versus with what type of care you give someone as a POA or just as a person in general in the community. I'm going to use these examples because I'm living these examples out, and I just want to share these experiences to kind of give relevance to what is going on. And it really came to me more so yesterday that how selfish everybody's being from the top down about getting vaccinated. And I have lost some friendships over the vaccine mandates. So then that's fine with me. It's sad, but it's going to be fine with me. I got to realize control the things you can and let go of the things you cannot. But this is something that we all can control. We all have the right to talk about and have the right to discuss. Okay, so selfish actually means it's the lacking of consideration for others. You're concerned chiefly with one's own personal profit and pleasure, and even one-sided view. Okay, now selfless, now that's completely the opposite. You're more concerned with someone else's needs and their wishes, which is often taken out of proportion, but you're more concerned with their own view and their own needs versus yours. So you're unselfish. Now, when I talk about this, it's going to be a touchy subject, and when I share this, it might get taken down. When it comes to the vaccines, we need to be selfless and quit saying it's for the common good. It's for the greater good. It's for, no. That is totally a selfish statement, okay? And you might want to disagree with what I just said. That's okay as well. That's our opinion to have. That's our choice and that's our view, okay? This is where I'm getting at. So when it comes to the vaccine, if someone told you you had to put oil into a needle and inject it into your body, and I'm not talking about just like avocado oil or sunflower oil, I'm talking about car oil, okay? The stuff you put in your car. If someone told you that's what you had to inject into your body, and we know that's not good to be in our system, would you do that? I don't think you would. I'm not. This is the same concept with this virus and this vaccine. No one wants to be injected with something they're not comfortable with or they don't agree with. So quit telling people that they need to do it. Quit forcing it. Quit advertising. Quit pushing your friend to get it done. They don't want to hear it no more. They're done hearing it. They know what they want. They know how they feel right now. And at this current time, they don't believe there's enough information, and they believe there's a lot of misinformation out there. Okay? So what we need to do is to let each person make their own choice. Now, let's get off the vaccine, and let's actually talk about a person's life. I am POA for 2 individuals in my life. My wife is one of those individuals. May 10th of 2021, my wife had several strokes, which led them to discover a rare disease called moya moya. This disease has some characteristics about it that doctors in the last 5 years should have caught that. However, they didn't. And I don't know if it's because of the particular hospital we was at in the beginning versus the hospital we're now at. But the current hospital we're at now gets a lot of credit to have finding these issues with my wife. So, long story short, fast forward a bit to where we've had to make some major decisions with her care, that she is in a position she's completely unable to understand or talk. And therefore, the first month or so, she couldn't even respond yes or no. So my daughters and I had a conversation, sat down, had a family conversation about mommy's needs, what mommy and I have been discussing over the last few years. And we recently just had a major family discussion about pursuing some things for her care and what it would look like if certain things happened. So based on that, we are really concerned about doing what Lisa wished to do in such events. In this particular event, she would never have dreamed of being in, and never wanted to be where she is today. But circumstances, the way it happened, this is just the way she woke up. This is what we got to deal with and answer to now, which makes it very challenging on our life and myself as a husband. So with that piece, I've talking to these nurses and these specialists and doctors. We had a care conference for my wife, and before this it was mentioned, but during this care conference it really came to light to me when one of the colleagues spoke up and said, it takes a lot for a husband and for her children to recognize her wishes and to try to honor those wishes in her current state. Because our main concern was her DNR, that we followed through with whatever she wished from here on out, that if something else happened, that, we let that be. But that's a perfect sign of being selfless instead of selfish. And during this pandemic, we are all hearing all these common good, greater good type of things to make it sound like it's not selfish, but it is. It is very selfless of us if we allow you or I or your neighbor to choose for their own body. That is our constitutional right, and we should not have to be passing any House bills or any other bills to clarify that. It's already been clarified centuries ago. So then it comes to fast forward again to my mother and her current needs. Yesterday after we had our clear conference, and my aunts, my mother's sisters, actually dismissed themselves from the call, that I was standing there talking to some of the representatives, and they say, we really commend you and your family, really honoring and thinking about your mother's care and more what she wants. And the conversation you just had with your mother about her choices and clarifying that with her, telling her that your POA doesn't mean it trumps her decision. It means it's to respect and honor her decision. And that's what a POA is. So your neighbor doesn't have a POA on you. The president does not have a POA on you. And even if he or she did, the point and the main point I want to drive home is it's our choice. It's your choice. Whatever it is in life, whatever your health condition, whatever the reason, whatever is happening, it is your individual choice, okay, to make. No one else's. No mandate can trump your choice. And a mandate is not law. It is not. You do not have to honor it. By the constitutional number 10, your rights, you do not have to honor anything that comes to harm to you. And if you think this is going to be harmful to you, and there's not enough research, don't do it. So in my wife's case or my mother's case, just because I hold a power of attorney does not clarify I trump her decision. Doesn't mean I trump my wife's decision or my mother's decision. And my wife's decision was very clear in the beginning. DNR. I do not want to live this way. I do not want to live that way. I do not want to be like this. Okay? And she doesn't want to be like she is today. But she woke up this way. This is the way it is. We have no choice. Our communication with her has been good, to where we can, get things out better. And she understands enough where she's at that we didn't have enough control. She still gets confused if she is able to come home or not. And I think that's because of short-term memory. I don't think she's remembering like what we really talked about last week sometimes, just in the last few weeks, my observation. So I think her short-term memory has been affected a little bit. But anyway, the point is that in our current time, in our current days, just because someone has a power of attorney doesn't give him or her the right to trump your decisions, okay? Just because a mandate's out there doesn't give it a right. A mandate is not law, does not trump your decisions for your life. It does not even trump the Constitution. If anything is to harm you, come to harm to you, or you speculate that it could be harmful to you, you don't have to follow it, okay? It's your constitutional right. With that said, that if you choose to do something for you, that's what it should be, no matter what. So just because I have that power of attorney power over my wife or my mother doesn't mean I make the final call and decision. If they're still able to communicate, they need to be involved in that discussion, and it needs to ultimately be their choice, okay? Mandate cannot make them do anything, and we should not. It's their choice. It's your choice for your life. It's my choice for my life, okay? Just because, another way to explain that is that power of attorney, and the best way to explain it is actually what is in the wording of the bylaws of it, is that you are to operate in the best interests of the individual you are power of attorney over, not in the best interest of yourself, not in the best interest of Milo, not in the best interest of her grandbabies, not in the best interest of her ex-spouse, not the best interest of a teacher or a principal or the president of the United States. In the best interest of the individual that you're caring for, or that you have that POA on for their needs, for their wishes, for their body, their mind, their life. Period. No one else's. That's the bottom line and the bottom message from my life experience living this out. And I don't know how more profound I can get to explain that to you. But we need to stop pressuring each other, our own values and views. There's a due process of conversation where you suggest and recommend and say, really strongly feel you should do this, or you should really strongly look more into this. But it doesn't mean you have the right to force that person to do something against their will that they do not want. End of story. It's that simple, okay? That simple. I want you to think on this and meditate on this and how you can be more selfless and letting go of someone else's life. Even if they're in your life, you can't control them. And you don't want them to control you. I'm pretty sure if you dated anyone in your life, you had differences. And that's how life is. Our country is different than another country. We want everyone to have the best opportunities and the best in their life, but that's not feasible without the culture adapting to better ways. And not every culture is bad just because it's different. Okay? There are different ways a culture lives for reasons. There's different ancestral regimens that we do and we continue to pass on from generation to generation for reasons. Okay? So let your life be yours. Let your spouse, your friend, your aunt, your uncle, your brother, your sister, whoever it may be that's different or outside of your home, or outside of your world, in a different. So let their life be their life and your life be yours. Not every culture is bad. Not every culture is great. But we all have our differences for reasons. A lot of cultures have regimens and rituals that they put down from generation to generation, and they like doing that. And that's where they want to be. All right? So there are cultures that need more help, that we want them to have better lives and to have more freedoms and to be able to enjoy life better. There are some people who are okay with where they live, and they'll just go about their business. But let life do itself. So you can do yourself, and another individual can do themselves, and don't force things on others. All right? So I want to wish you to have a good day, a great day, and, enjoy life. And thank you for listening and watching this. And I hope I spliced it together good because my video kept cutting out on me. I'm doing it on my phone. I don't know. I don't have technology besides that. So make it a great day.